AEW talent rejecting Tony Khan plans. There is a lot of frustration reportedly over last-minute AEW creative, and another top AEW talent is out indefinitely. It's all in the Cultaholic wrestling news right now. More weird news from behind the scenes of AEW. Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer has shared some details of backstage frustration over at All Elite Wrestling over the creative, and it also reveals how some talent are just flat out rejecting Tony's plans.
Rough. He said, some people will know what they're doing because there are a couple of matches usually advertised in advance, but most people are showing up the day of the show and they find out whether they're doing anything or not. There's very little communication. People are very frustrated. He continues, they show up, get told, here's what you're going to do. Lots of people will complain and it gets changed, which is also a big problem I hear about all the time. Brian's saying this. People don't want to do something and Tony doesn't make them do it. Trying to put together these shows is a whirlwind of, can this, will this person do this? They don't want to, what can we do? There's a lot of frustration. The days of long-term booking, they're gone. He wants to do things, but people don't want to go along with it.
Now, obviously, I get the idea that you want to sort of hold some autonomy over where you're going, but also at the same time, you want to be a boss that has ideas, that is reasonable. But at the same time, this is pretty damning of what's going on back there.
If reports are to be believed, for sure, you essentially, it does sound. I don't want to use the old inmates running the asylum thing, but this is the sort of thing that I think you need to nip in the bud. If people don't want to do creative, if they don't want to do what they're told to do, how long can you let them get away with that? There's the door, right?
Well, Tony Khan has said, I'm sick and tired of this, I'm not going to put up with it anymore. He said that in September of 2022.
We don't know who these people are that are refusing, reportedly, to work with what they're given. I think we could sit here and speculate, but I don't really want to do that. Let's talk about Will Ospreay instead.
Shall we do that? So Ospreay turned up on Wednesday looking like, and I quote, Kermit the Frog on leg day in a lovely green tracksuit. His words, not mine, bruv. He had a nightmare getting there, but a lovely time in the build-up to AEW. He talked about how he'd spent 10 days in Barbados getting drunk with the missus beforehand, and then Delta lost his bags and then found them just in the nick of time.
It's always Delta, isn't it? I always hear about Delta being the wrong...
Delta,
yeah, you bastards, if you're watching. He is, according to Fightful Select, officially a babyface moving forward. Fightful Select saying, those we've spoken to don't expect Will Ospreay to remain aligned with Don Callis on AEW TV for long. So
they've already teased the dissension there, that handshake that went a bit along with Takeshita and Ospreay. I think, without giving away too much of what we talked about in the predictions video for Revolution, which you can watch on the channel, I get the vibe that it is going to be this weekend where they get him out, get him away.
This soon.
Set him off. I think, why waste time? Get him Saturday, send him off on his way.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's just come in, obviously, but the reactions that he's getting and will continue to get, it's very difficult to book a heel like that, isn't it? That said, I think some of Will Ospreay's best work has been when he's been a heel. I think he's an amazing heel. Like, long gone are the days where people were like, Ospreay can't do character work, Ospreay can't cut a promo, all that stuff. And I actually think he's at his best when he's doing heel promos, apart from wrestling, obviously.
I mean, there is the wrestling he's quite good at.
He's all right.
But he's also very good at wrestling as a heel. You watch that Rev Pro high stakes match that he had with Michael Oku, and all the flourishes around that. He's an excellent heel wrestler, but also he's really easy to cheer because he's so very good at the wrestling.
Yeah, he is. He's got this thing about him. When he's acting as a heel, he's a proper bully. And this is going to sound horrible. I'm allowed to say it, right? Because I'm from a working class background. He's a bit of a chav in there, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? I know that's a classist thing to say. Shut up, I don't care. But he's the guy that was nasty to you, flobbed on your back in the playground. There's something about, and there's a nasty side to him, and I really like him as that. But I totally get why they'd want to position him as a babyface.
You got that big show in Wembley coming up where...
That's true, yeah, there you go.
The small matter of that, put the title on him there, or maybe put him at least in the mix for the title there. That'd be a lovely time. We saw Sean Spears, an AEW original, rocking up in NXT. Caught all of us off guard, that did.
I was pumped.
Ty Dillinger, no longer. Sean Spears, very yes, on NXT. Sean Spears joins the likes of Cody Rhodes, another AEW original, who is now back in WWE. And it seems as if they reached out to another person that was there from pretty much day dot.
Absolutely. QT Marshall, the man himself. Apparently WWE reaching out to him. He was chatting away with Bill Apter and said, I'm not going to go to WWE to just be a producer. I can do that at AEW where I can work 1 day a week and I'm number whatever in the company, in the top 10. Whereas if I go to WWE, I start at the bottom, I make less money, I'm on the road more. The only perk is that I get to be with my friend Cody and just say that I work for WWE, which has been my dream since I was 8 years old, but it's not my dream to be a producer for WWE. He wants that main event WrestleMania slot, doesn't he?
But you know what, right? I know, lol, QT Marshall, there's a lot of that discourse online, but I really want to say, Loki, look at him now. Look at that figure. He's a unit. He looks amazing.
Yeah, he does. He's
proper in the best condition of his life at the moment.
I'll preface this by saying I don't think I've ever been entertained by anything QC Marshall has done on TV, but I really like the guy.
He's
I think he comes across as an awesome bloke who, if he could get that right, he's so solid in the ring, he's such a safe pair of hands that actually he could be fantastic. I don't know if it's like, it just never clicked in AEW for him as an on-screen talent, did it? It never properly worked. But he seems very easy to deal with, and I just think if they got that character right, there's maybe something there. And look at him now, as Tom says.
It looks amazing.
Beefy boy.
He went on to say that I did indeed speak to WWE, and we don't know what could happen. When I spoke to them, I think it was a 3 or 4 minute conversation. Triple H asked me what I wanted to do. I told him what I'd like to do, and we never even got past that point.
Main event WrestleMania, that was it.
He even went on to say, like, it's been my dream of my lifetime to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
and it's
and
do you know what? And that's not shade on AEW, because you've got to bear in mind that AEW is only like it's barely out of its training wheels in comparison to Grandad WWE. Like, everybody in AEW would have either grown up or been a part of WWE.
That's it.
So to have that dream to be a part of WrestleMania isn't shade at anybody, which I think some people might have misinterpreted it as.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I appreciate the honesty on his behalf.
Yeah.
Everybody in AEW, unless they weren't wrestling fans as a kid, grew up watching WWE, for sure. Maybe they watched some WCW, some early days TNA.
Ospreay watched TNA.
He did. He loved
very
TNA.
keen to say that.
But, I mean, WWE's the big boys. You walk into Toys R Us when you're 8 years old, and what do you see on the shelves?
Right.
You see AEW figures now, so maybe there'll be a new batch who are desperate to work double or nothing in 20 years' time.
Look out for a new Andrade WWE figure, since he is now back in WWE. It turns out, according to Dave Meltzer, that just before he left, AEW gave him a, quote, good offer to stay. And he decided to leave anyway. I think he was always going to go, regardless of whether he was offered anything.
Who can blame him, right? I don't think that AEW did him as well as they could have done. No. But on top of that, his missus is there. Like, these people spend so much time on the road. Obviously, Charlotte isn't at the moment, but these people spend so much time on the road. If you're able to merge your personal and business life into one and spend time with your loved one, then why wouldn't you do that?
Why wouldn't you want to go on tour with your wife?
Yeah,
Brett?
Exactly.
Did I say the quiet bit out loud? I didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Not again. We send our best wishes to El Hijo. He talks about it in his book. I'm not saying anything shocking. Let's end on El Hijo del Vikingo. We want to send some love to Vikingo because once again he's on the shelf.
He is. He's out of action once more. There's been concerns for Vikingo's status after his match on February 17th was stopped early. Remember when he landed awkwardly? That exacerbated an injury that was already existing. In doing so, it's now been revealed via Instagram that he suffered a torn meniscus and ruptured ligament and is undergoing surgery to repair both. There's no clear timetable for his return. He's unbelievably good. He's mental to watch, isn't he? I really worry about him because he goes 2 balls to the wall for my liking.
2 balls to the wall for my liking.
Yeah, I know it is that. He's spectacular to watch.
Put a headlock on, brother.
No, true. Less is more sometimes. And I honestly,
more is more.
I honestly do think that's the case for him. And like, do it on the big shows. I see him do stuff on like weekly TV.
They do on Big Show. His legs are knackered.
You know what I'm saying.
I said that quite a bit again. Didn't I? Oh dear. I want to ask this because it's something that because obviously we do this day to day and we talk about numerous things, and there's lots of conversations around menisci, ACLs, MCLs. Is it me, or is there a lot of injuries at the moment?
A ludicrous amount right now.
Okay, I was worried it was me.
Yeah, it happens every few years, doesn't it? The injury bugs going round, but it's a lot of meniscus, ACL, MCL stuff specifically at the moment. I think that's it. Just what's wrong with a big boot, one of those, and a leg drop? Bring back the glory days of wrestling. Get on the juice, for goodness sake.
Get on the roids, whack on a headlock, shut up, kids. We'll have AEW Revolution live reactions.
Yes, you excited?
I'm buzzing for it.
I think it's looking like a great show. I think
Yeah.
it's really looking like a great show. There's like one or two matches that I'm like neither here nor there about. Maybe they'll end up on the pre-show, but I think largely that's a really strong looking card.
It's really good. We say farewell to Sting, no doubt in the main event. Hopefully he sings Fields of Barley. And we have the tag titles on the line in the big one as well. The world titles up for grabs as well in the three-way. Get the predictions from myself and Fraser Porter. 9 pitches from the lads as well this week. Live reactions and what happened with Jack the Jobber afterwards as well. Gosh darn it. By Jove. Oh, I'm on one. It's a Friday. And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.